And the Delphi murder trial is set to begin in a little over a month, but a motion just filed by the defense could change all that.
Late yesterday afternoon, attorneys for Richard Allen asked Special Judge Francis Gall for the okay to ask the Indiana Court of Appeals to review two issues before the trial starts on October 14th.
Allen's accused of killing 13-year-old Abby Williams and 14-year-old Libby German in February of 2017.
Allen was arrested 5.5 years later, back in October of 2022. 13 News reporter Emily Longnecker is here now to explain what Allen's attorneys want the Court of Appeals to look at specifically. Emily?
Well, Dustin and Felicia, Allen's attorneys don't agree with some of the judge's recent rulings about what evidence can and can't be heard by a jury, and they want the Court of Appeals to review those rulings before the trial even starts. The defense believes those rulings were wrong and violated Richard Allen's constitutional rights, and they ultimately will lead, they say, to a second trial if Allen is found guilty.
Judge Francis Gall got it wrong when she decided to allow a jury to hear more than 60 confessions Allen allegedly made to family, prison officials, and his psychologist while being held in a state prison after his arrest. The defense has argued those confessions were not voluntary and made while Allen was severely mentally ill. Judge Francis Gall disagreed. In a new motion, Allen's attorneys say Judge Gall's decision to allow a jury to hear those confessions denies Allen his constitutional rights. They say if Allen is found guilty, this issue would likely come up on appeal then, and it could lead to throwing out the conviction.
Do we really want to take a chance of having to redo this whole trial again if this gets reversed?
That's the question defense attorney Brad Banks says the defense is essentially asking by filing this new motion. They note a second trial would bring significant expense and time, dragging out the case for everyone. Allen's attorneys want the Indiana Court of Appeals to look at Judge Gall's rulings on what can be heard at trial now, before the trial, not after there's a verdict. Banks says historically, that's usually not how it goes.
This is the type of case they would normally say you have to wait till after your trial and then you can appeal these issues.
Could this time be different? Banks thinks it's possible given the costs and logistics of one trial, let alone a second one if the verdict is appealed.
This is a set of facts that is certainly very unique and may lend itself to being heard prior to the trial.
If that's the case, Banks says expect to see either side ask the court to hit pause on the October 14th date of the trial start.
Now, the state of Indiana has already objected to this motion. After the prosecution files their objection, Judge Gall has 30 days to decide whether she'll even allow the defense to ask the Court of Appeals to look at the case. Now, coming up tonight at 6, we'll break down the other issue Allen's attorneys want the Court of Appeals to review. It deals with the judge's decision to prevent jurors from hearing about other possible suspects. Dustin, Felicia?
As it stands now, we're about a month away from this trial. Emily, thank you. We're keeping an eye on the court filings in the Delphi case. Just scan the QR code on your screen right there to see Judge Gall's reasoning for denying the defense's requests.
Or you can also scan here. You can visit WTHR.com/Delphi as well.